God bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Mikey, eh?
God bless football, Stugotz.
Why are you smirking, Billy?
I'm just happy. I mean, I can't be happy around here. What's going on?
What are you happy about?
I don't know. It's Monday. We're here doing God Bless Football Monday Hangover together. Lucy's in studio today.
Yeah.
We got a brand new box of Send Us stuff.
Really?
We did.
Amazing.
Mikey got some stuff in there too, personalized for him. It's very exciting.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
I'm coming back with some Billy's Bets Big Boards brought to you by Picks today, and I have an updated record, surprisingly decent, especially since week 5. I'm just gonna tell you right now, since week 5, I'm 7-2.
Yep. How were you weeks 1 through 4?
Well, we don't need to get into that. I mean,
all right, okay.
This is what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm presently 11-9-1.
Okay.
So I
not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, but the way that I kind of presented it, which was since week 5 I'm 7-2, you can kind of figure out how weeks 1 through 4 went. Right. Very poorly. Okay. I mean, 0-3 to start out the whole segment because of Aaron Rodgers' injury wasn't great for me. Not great for me.
Mikey, I can't believe I'm saying this. We have a big game tonight. Jets and Chargers,
Huge.
Monday Night Football. The Jets win the game. They're a half game back of the Dolphins in the AFC East. What?
Chiefs, Bengals, and Commanders took care of business. We could take the East.
I know.
I said it. We could take the East.
This is incredible, Billy. I mean,
do you really think you could take the East?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ditto.
I just
no, but we could.
You're hoping that you get to what, like week 16, and Aaron Rodgers makes a miraculous comeback, and then you can go on a run in the playoffs. If you just all you need to do is get in, right? If you're the Jets and Aaron comes back, which is a giant and obviously, but all you need to do is get in.
I would take just getting in, yes. Considering what happened to our quarterback week 1, I would take, because Mike, never in my wildest dreams did I think that we'd be having this discussion that we're having right now. The Jets with a big game tonight, 8 games into the season, and yes, I would take a playoff berth. That's it.
Without Aaron Rodgers, I would take just eliminating the "you haven't been to the playoffs for 12 years" thing to end.
Right.
That would be enough for me for this year without Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
How about at the deadline, you guys were trying to get Devontae Adams?
I know.
Oh.
I know, Billy. We said that 2 years ago.
No, I know, but you didn't get him,
right?
And the Raiders seemingly were a functional organization,
yes,
and they didn't trade him,
correct.
And then all hell broke loose on Thursday, apparently, which led to Josh McDaniels firing.
Right? Yeah,
that's the craziest story I think from the weekend, right?
Is McDaniels getting fired?
No. Do you not know what happened?
No. Well, what happened
with the Raiders?
No.
So what led to Josh McDaniels' firing?
No.
Okay, so last Thursday they had, I guess, a players only, or not a players only, almost like a, what's the best way to put this? A come to Jesus meeting.
An airing of grievances.
That is that's the way that Jay Glazer said it.
An airing of grievances.
An airing of grievances where all of the players, the captains were there, and they were apparently just going in on Josh McDaniels, airing it out and just pounding him and
in
pounding
front of him.
In front of him and the coaches.
To him.
Right.
To him.
Yes.
Thank you, Mikey. Yes. And then
good for the players.
Antonio Pierce was asked to speak on Josh and the coaching staff's behalf,
right?
For some reason, which is odd because he was not the head coach at the time. And now he's the interim head coach, and there's reports that he's like trying to actually get this job. He has a chance of keeping this job. So he goes he starts rallying the troops. He starts trying to get everybody on the same page. And he starts telling a story about how his Giants went and they thought that they could beat anyone. And then they went to the Super Bowl and they beat the Patriots. Mm-hmm. And no one thought they could do it. And they had that mentality that they could beat absolutely anyone.
Right.
Right. And then everybody thinks, okay, according to Jay Glazer, everybody thinks, oh, wow, this is great. We're all on the same page. This is great because beforehand, what led to the meeting is players and people were going directly up to Davis, the owner, and going around Josh McDaniels. So it was just kind of a mess, right? So Antonio Pierce comes in. He gets everybody on the same page until after the meeting where Josh McDaniels goes up to Antonio Pierce and says, don't ever talk about the Patriots like that again. And then it became very obvious.
Really?
This is a disaster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Mark Davis had to choose one side or the other. And he said, you know what? I'm going to choose the guy that thinks that we can beat anyone if we try hard enough and believe in each other over the guy that's worried about insulting the Patriots. So he fired him.
So
That's a good.
McDaniels really is an idiot.
Yes.
Apparently, yes. He is actually, yeah.
But that's a good job by the Raiders. I mean, it is, right?
It is. And you see what happens. They rally around Antonio Pierce.
Right.
They beat the Giants, who are another disaster. And
they beat the Giants.
That's my favorite thing.
Right.
They're celebrating like they won the Super Bowl, beating a 1-win team that doesn't have a quarterback.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, but they handily beat it. Like that game was not close. They demolished
30-6. Right. You're right. It was a blowout.
Daniel Jones gets injured again.
Yeah.
Which I then saw a report. The Giants fear Daniel Jones is injured, and it's like, do they fear it? Because it feels like at this point, like they'd be fine.
They're fine with it. Because I saw another report that Joe Shane, their general manager, who's my friend,
that's a weird flex.
Who's been on this show a couple of times.
Are you saying that just until he loses the job?
No, he'll be my friend whether he has that job or not.
Where's Adam Gase?
Look at me, thank you. Deserve that. Good point on Adam Gase. But I just play golf with Adam Gase. Like, he can't do anything for me anymore, and I'm still friendly with him.
Hey, Tommy DeVito?
Look at me. He threw a pass.
175 yards. So, 2 interceptions, but 175 yards. I mean, that's improvement, right?
Yes. Joe Shane was scouting Caleb Williams. That's what I was trying to tell you, the USC quarterback.
Oh, great.
So, I don't think they care about Daniel Jones. I know, but the Giants have a chance to get him, I mean, they're that bad.
Yeah.
Billy, it lends to your point that, no, I don't think the Giants are concerned about Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I'm with you. They don't care. They're happy that he's out.
How'd you feel about Germany, gang?
I don't like that game being that big of a game with that many stakes attached to it. I don't like that game being played in Frankfurt.
That game, dud of a game. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
It was 2 very bad halves that made it seem like as a whole it was a closer game than it was, but it was not a good game. I'm worried about the Chiefs a little bit.
Are you?
I am a little bit worried about the Chiefs because they had
Their defense is great, Billy.
Well, I mean,
it's great.
They had a terrible game last week against the Broncos that didn't go well. Mm-hmm. This game against the Dolphins, they're up 21-0. Mm-hmm. They have the first drive that's very impressive, and then a lot of they have another 95-yard drive, which I know is not what you would say after you say like it's not impressive, but they have a 95-yard drive,
right.
And then they get that touchdown on the weird fumble play by Tyreek Hill that then is pitched back and then run back all the way for a touchdown. And then the second half, they didn't do anything offensively.
No.
And the Dolphins came back, but the Dolphins, kind of choked, and Tua had miscommunication with Cedric Wilson there that he took the blame for, and then Mike McDaniel tried to say, no, it wasn't his fault, and that was the whole thing. And then I don't understand how they've botched so many snaps. And apparently they moved someone over, and that's why there's issues there with communication, but let's stop botching snaps. It seems like an easy thing to fix.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to do, it seems like. Right?
To what? To snap the ball?
Just snap the ball, catch the ball, and then, run your play.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 7 straight punts in the game with the 2 teams combined. It wasn't
it was weird. We were expecting fireworks from these 2 teams, but that's what I'm trying to say. The Chiefs are a different team. Their defense is really, really good. Spagnuolo, he's always around. He's a good defensive coordinator, and the Chiefs held the Dolphins to 14 points. That's impressive, Billy.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot take. If that game is played in Miami or Kansas City, it's 45-42.
I just told
in
Billy
Frankfurt, it's 21-14.
I just told Billy that. How much do you think the travel weighed in on that? Because in Miami or somewhere that's not 8 hours away, it would be a whole different game.
Well, but here's the thing about the travel. So Mike McDaniel took them early in the week, and they asked him, why is it that you're there a week early? And his response was something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, to, if we go to the Super Bowl, we're going to have to travel, and we're going to have our entire operations be done remotely. Like, not remotely like on Zoom, but like remotely, like you need to have your entire organization and everything done in another place that you're not used to. So his thinking seems to have been, let me try to do this in Germany, and then we have practice for if we go to the Super Bowl or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I believe the Chiefs got there on Friday. So, like, the Chiefs, if anyone, should have been affected by travel because the Dolphins had a week to acclimate themselves to the time and the travel and everything. As a viewer, by the way, perfect week for this because of the time change. It wasn't as early. No, it was great. You got the extra hour of sleep. Yeah. It was great. Threw me off a little bit, but it was great. Did it? Yeah, it always does. Are you now up? I mean, this is day 2 of the time change. I don't know why we're doing time change talk here, but this is day 2 of the time change. Have you gotten used to it yet, or are you now still like doing everything an hour earlier? So I was in Chicago for the first day, and so it's already an hour back. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. From where we are. Yeah.
So I haven't gotten used to it today. It's like my first day of dealing with it. I know it's a weird theory, but it's like
I'm trying to figure out how
I'm still dealing with it. I'm still getting used to it. I don't know, Billy. I'm just
how changing time zones affected you.
I have no idea.
I mean, if anything, for 2 days you lost an hour.
Yeah.
But then you gained it back, so you should be exactly where you were
before it happened.
Yeah,
I should be.
I guess.
I don't know what's going on. Do you like it? Do you like having the hour dial back? Like getting an extra hour of sleep?
I don't like it getting darker that much earlier.
I don't like it light this early in the morning.
My commute was actually a little bit better, even though we drive directly into the sun because I drive straight east. So I'm like looking at the sun, which makes it really slow because everyone drives really slow.
Right.
And when I had to come in an hour, like Mondays, we get here an hour earlier to do the show. When on most days I'm driving into the sun. Normally on Mondays I'm driving in darkness, and it's like a pretty smooth ride. Where
it's 5 PM, Billy.
Yeah, it's 5 PM.
That's right. Yeah.
So
early evening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I didn't like? Tyreek Hill saying he was going to get 250 receiving yards and then getting
62. Yeah.
62.
62. Mike.
Only 188 short of his goal.
We wish he had 80. He had a big drop in that game as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man. Mm-hmm. Tua looked like at points he wasn't gripping the football or something because he had some ducks that were just floating out there.
I want to address Germany. I don't like a game of this magnitude being played in Frankfurt.
No,
I don't. Play it at Arrowhead or play it at, a Dolphin Stadium. Like, enough.
But we've done
What are we doing? No, I don't like it, though.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing to do about it now. It already happened.
I know. It upsets me.
You know what we should have done is Juju Gotti apparently is best friends with Roger Goodell.
What?
Yeah. So there's video there of Juju and Roger giving each other a hug, talking on the field. I feel like that would have been our chance to kind of had direct conversation with Roger about that.
Mm-hmm.
But, Juju wasn't there to do our business. He was there to kind of meet up and hang out with
You're
Roger.
saying the video of Juju embracing Roger Goodell
is the greatest video content this company has ever created and probably will ever create. I feel like we can shut it down right now.
Yeah. It was amazing.
We're not going to do better than
Go
that.
out on top.
Doesn't matter where we go, how many top fives you do, where you do it. He can do it on Mars.
It's amazing.
You're watching this, so we've already gone downhill as a company.
Woke up downhill, really.
Yeah.
We woke up going downhill?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Like a meteor.
Okay. Really? All right. Yeah, what?
Meteors go down really fast.
They do?
So we're dropping like a meteor.
Huh.
Okay, if you say so.
No?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm not a meteorologist.
How do you feel about the national media today, Bill?
Because they study meteors.
What?
Really?
It was
awesome.
It was great. Just let it go, though. Okay, it was there. Just keep it moving. All
What'd you
right.
say? How do I feel about what now?
National media was doing it again this morning. ESPN Radio. They were questioning the Dolphins because they haven't beaten a good team.
It's fair. Like honestly, at this
Is
point,
it fair? Because I'm telling you right now, look at the schedule. The Dolphins will be 11-3, guaranteed. They'll win their next 5 games.
I looked at the schedule and I agree with you that they will probably be 11-3 or 10-4. But I also think that it's fair for people to question the Dolphins. And I also think, as a Dolphin fan, who cares? Like, I don't care. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're good.
They're making the playoffs for sure. So all these games probably don't matter, but they're going to start mattering pretty soon.
Right.
You have nothing to show for it. But to their defense, they have gotten increasingly better every game against a good team.
They're getting closer.
Moral victory is what I'm trying to do.
I guess.
You were sending me texts calling everyone frauds. What are you talking
That is
about?
true.
All well deserved.
You were so we were texting during the game, and I told him, even though again the Dolphins gave up a ridiculous drive to start the game, there was like 7 plays, and it was like boom, 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 touchdown. Like you're already down 7-0 to the Chiefs. But the rest of the game, the defense looked okay, and I was texting Fuentes because he doesn't like Vic Fangio. He calls him Vic Fraggio.
Yeah.
And I was like, defense looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Undisciplined, though. Undisciplined.
Very undisciplined.
A lot of penalties against that defense.
Right.
A lot of penalties, dumb penalties. And the Chiefs, not that we're going to make this like a whole, the refs thing, but man, they get away with everything. The Chiefs get away with blatant holds.
Do, yeah.
They're hugging players. It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy some of the stuff that they get away with. But you can't have that complaint.
Speaking of playoffs, are the Bills going to make the playoffs?
I don't know.
Take a look at their schedule. Take a look at their schedule coming up.
It's
Jets, Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Dolphins.
Yeah, it's a fair question to ask. Is beating the Bills a
And they're
good
in
thing?
third.
I mean,
Well, I started doing the thing where you compare wins to losses before the game. I'm like, okay, so the Dolphins beat the Broncos by 50 and they beat the Chiefs by 20 or whatever it was, right? So the Dolphins basically beat the Chiefs by 70 before the game started. And then they're down 21-0, and it didn't play out like that at all.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I was trying to. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a blowout.
We'll talk to Lucy next.
Stugotz, I'm very excited.
Why?
Because Lucy's back.
Yes.
I'm in person.
Yeah, she's in
Yes.
person. Even though when you're in your apartment, it's fun because we get to see things. But I took a peek. We were sent some stuff, and I took a peek because I feel like we need to kind of have some idea of what it is that we're opening. Just don't open random boxes and hope that everything's on the up and up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I took a little peek to make sure everything was okay and we could do it. Lucy was sent something that I think she's going to be very excited about.
Okay.
So excited.
Mikey was sent something that I think he's going to be, excited about. Mikey's not
You
one
seem
that...
lukewarm on this one.
Well, no,
Right.
I don't think
Yeah.
Mikey's someone that gets very excited.
I've seen Mikey get excited.
I think that he is very composed,
Right.
So like when I show him the thing, he'll be like, "Oh, that's cool," and I think that he may put it up so that we could see it in his display moving forward because I feel like it's applicable
Right.
and he's gonna like it. You were sent a bunch of random things.
Okay.
I was gonna say the S word, but I'm not gonna say it. You were sent a bunch of random things that I think you're gonna like. This was sent by a friend who has a 3D printing company, so a lot of this stuff is homemade. So yeah.
I love
so
you
cool.
vetting the stuff that's sent to us, though.
I'm just
Great.
trying to make sure that,
Right.
we're not opening things that we shouldn't be opening on air for the first time. So, yeah. Anyways.
You never know what's in the box, Billy.
Correct.
Right,
And we have
yes.
a new edition of Lucy or Goosey that we can get to.
We do.
Lucy's back from Bedlam. She looks very excited. Oh, wow.
Yes.
I got
Very
my
noble.
shirt.
There you
Remember
go.
my shirt?
Did you cry?
I cried
Really?
so
Wow.
much. I took videos. I took videos of me crying to show you because I actually cried a
Really?
lot. It was
Well, we believed you.
yeah,
You didn't have to prove it.
yeah, but I was really crying. Like it was just like tears glistening down my face, and that was before the game started. And then in the first quarter, I cried a lot, and then I stopped crying.
So on these trips, sometimes you travel with a video person from here, but often the video person we get is like a hired gun from the place, right?
So actually, most of the time we're traveling with someone from here.
Oh, really?
We worked with students once, Tyler and Jamie at Florida. Shout out to them. They were wonderful and awesome. I don't know why we haven't worked with them or students again, but we have gone to not working with students, which I like working with them
Yeah.
because I get to be I'm like, let me help you with your career.
Yeah. And have you done that? Have you helped anyone with their career
Oh my
yet?
God. I always give out my email and I'll send them little, like if they have
It's a dangerous
questions, I'll
game,
answer.
Lucy.
No, it's
Yeah.
not a dangerous game, but
it
like
is.
Just a student.
sharing your
It is.
email is fine. But what are you
Right.
actually doing for them?
Okay, so Tyler and Jamie at Florida, I let them film stand-ups with the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ooh, that was good. Do it again, but do it like this.
Ooh,
for
I
their
like that.
reels.
There you go.
Right.
That's very valuable.
Outsourcing
That's
your job.
super valuable.
That's
Love
one of
it.
the most
Your job. I
valuable
love it.
things is in an internship
got
is
the
getting
song.
like stuff for your reel. I'm
Exactly.
still collecting things for my reel.
I said, make sure you
Fuck
put it
outta
on your
here.
resume. You can give them my email, and I'll say you did a great job. And then I answer any of their questions about the industry.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I
of
was
you, Lucy.
joking, obviously.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
it feels-
still a
it's so
dangerous
fun.
game, though. I mean, it is.
That's why people will be like, oh, give me your number. Only email. Only email.
I gave your friend my number at the
Yeah,
Iowa
you
game.
were in a group chat.
I regret it. Yeah.
Stugotz has enough in his system. He is very easy to get his phone number and his email from.
So Lucy said, hey, I'm at the Iowa Northwestern game, and I took the under. And even while
Smart.
winning money, I felt like I lost.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We all lost. But I'm at the game, and she texts me, hey, my two friends from Iowa who go to Iowa are a couple of rows behind you. And I turned around to see if I could find them in the stands, but they all look alike. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
And so I said, Lucy, tell them to yell out my name. And they didn't, but I saw them later on at a party.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were texting me so much. So I'm at Bedlam just crying, and my phone is blowing up, and it's my friends from college, Jake and Noah, being like, we're sitting behind Stugotz, we're sitting behind Stugotz. I'm like, just say something. Just say something.
Right.
And they're like, well, I don't know. Like, should I? I don't care. Just say something. I'm trying to enjoy this moment. And then they did. And Stugotz sent me a picture with
Yes.
Noah.
Who did you
It's
travel
nice.
with this weekend?
Rose.
Rose. Okay.
Rose.
And how'd that go?
It went well.
Okay, very
She's
good.
a really great videographer. She
So-
does an awesome job.
So tell us about Bedlam. The Iowa Northwestern game was dreadful. Iowa's going to be in the Big Ten championship. I propose that we skip the Big Ten championship game.
Please
Okay.
do not make me go to that. I do not want to go.
But tell us about Bedlam, because that was the final edition of Bedlam.
That was far and away my favorite college football game I've ever been to in my entire life. That was Stillwater, and just that entire environment, I think, is one of the most underrated in college football. It's a really small stadium, but it was so loud. The fans were the most into it I've ever seen in my life, and it was like immediately stepped on the field and started crying because it's one of the best atmospheres ever. I thought it was really interesting that when we did our tailgate content before the game, no one was actually very drunk. People were staying like moderately sober because you could tell how much this game meant to those fans. They wanted to be there and present for it. And Oklahoma State winning just in what is a crazy lopsided rivalry to end it is the most perfect ending ever. It is so stupid. It is so funny. It was an amazing experience. I will be back to Stillwater for sure. It was so awesome.
Why can't they just continue to schedule themselves like non-conference games just to keep it alive?
That's a really awesome question. I'm assuming it's because Oklahoma doesn't want to, because it could absolutely work. You see Georgia Tech with the SEC and ACC, they play every year. Florida State, Iowa State. It's not like an impossible thing to have a rival in a different conference. Oklahoma just doesn't want to do that, and I think it's a very little brother moment where if you ask Oklahoma fans who's your number one rival, the answer is Texas.
Right.
But if you ask Oklahoma State fans who their number one rival is, it's Oklahoma. So it means a lot more to the Oklahoma State fan base. But, I mean, thank God it ended the way they did, because that will stick with them forever. I was so happy for that fan base.
I do like that idea of, even though they're going their separate ways, to keep that rivalry going.
No, it absolutely should. Now, it's an incredibly lopsided rivalry. I believe it's Oklahoma's won 90 times.
Oklahoma State won the last.
Yeah, they won the last one,
right?
and that's the final moment. It's just you're seeing it's kind of like the whole grand scheme of college football, where teams are not wanting to schedule tough non-conference opponents anymore because you want to have a good record. You want to get into the playoff, which is now expanding. So if you have an extra loss, that's not going to help you even against somebody good. So it doesn't seem like it's going. They'll play again. It's just going to be a while. I hope it becomes a regular thing, but I just don't think it's going to.
How was it having the field be rushed?
It was so cool. There was only one moment where I was a little afraid.
Yeah.
But that was it. That's so the goalpost. They ran to take them down. They were terrible at it.
Yeah.
It was a horrible process.
Well, it snapped.
No, so
which seems dangerous.
They went to one goalpost, couldn't get it.
Okay.
Couldn't get that one. So then they went to the other goalpost. That's when I got afraid, because it was everyone just running this way all at once. So I was like screaming at Rose to move. An unlike spoken dangerous part of the game. And so Rose, great videographer, was standing up and trying to get shots. They have the paddles, the poke paddles that they slap the side of like the stadium with.
Yeah.
And she was so close to getting her head ripped off like 15 times, where I just had to pull her because the poke paddles, those things were dangerous. It almost got me a few times.
Would have been bad.
It would not have been good. Yeah, it was literally me being like, move, stop staying. And the sidelines there are very, very small, like the smallest I've ever seen.
Right.
So there's not a ton of room. So I was like, you need to either duck or step this way, because you're going to get hit in the head with a wooden paddle.
But you enjoyed it. So it seems like you really enjoyed your experience there.
It was so awesome. It was such a good environment. All the fans were so into it. Like, it was the loudest I've heard a stadium of that size. Stillwater is a super cute, awesome town. Like, it was. If you're a college football fan and you like going to games, Stillwater is one you should put on your list.
Billy, don't you think if you're Mike Gundy, you want that rivalry to end because you won the last one? That's it.
Yeah.
You can always say that, right?
All right. My connection to this is I think of it through my prism, obviously, and I think of FIU. And the last time FIU played UM, they beat UM, and I'm good with taking a little break for a while.
Never play them again.
You have that over them for so long, so I'm good with a little break here in between.
We're 1-0 the last time we played you.
Oh my God. I don't even think about the 3 losses before that. I just think about the 1-0. It's incredible.
What surprised you this weekend with college football? It was a great weekend.
What surprised me? That's a good question. Kansas State was surprising to a lot of people. This doesn't answer your question at all. It's not surprising, and no one should freak out about it. Kansas State always does that. They are always the team that will just be a little thorn in your side and ruin your season without actually doing anything on their own.
Right.
So I don't think that's a big deal. Air Force losing to Army was very surprising.
That was surprising, yes.
The turnovers in that game were absolutely crazy, and that'll cost you. Indiana beating Wisconsin feels like a small thing. Very surprising to me. That's very weird.
Yes.
It wasn't like there were no like major upsets or anything like that.
Missouri
outside.
they hung in the
That
game with
didn't
Georgia.
surprise me either.
Right.
They do that
Same.
every year.
They do.
They'll keep it super close
Right.
until halftime, and then Georgia will just like kick it up the second half and absolutely cruise.
I thought the game of the weekend was Washington and USC. Washington had a great fourth quarter, pulled that game out. USC is done. They're out of the playoffs. They've been done for a couple of weeks now, but Washington is still still hanging around, and they have the best victory on their resume, that victory against Oregon. Can you envision both those teams getting into the playoffs, or no? It's impossible?
Not Washington at this point. That game against USC was it was the absolute opposite of what Iowa Northwestern was. It's insane that they are in the same conference. That's absolutely disgusting. The thing about that game is you watched it and you weren't like, it was fun. There was a lot of scoring, but it wasn't like this is an offense. The way you watch Iowa Northwestern is you're not saying this is a defensive battle. You're saying both of these offenses suck. I think it was the same thing for Washington and USC where you're like, this is a crazy offensive shootout. You're like, man, both of these defenses are not very good.
Right.
They do not look good. And I think that's eventually going to get Washington. They have Oregon at home Utah at Washington this weekend. That could be a slip-up game. They are just begging for a loss. They are begging for a loss. I think it's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen in the regular season, it'll happen in the Pac-12 championship game where I assume they'll meet Oregon again.
How patient is USC going to be with Lincoln Riley?
They're going to be patient because they paid him a lot, but it's one of those things where college football fans look at it and they know. Where if you look at his previous years at Oklahoma, his defenses have always been bad. Alex Grinch got fired this weekend. He was part of the problem, but I honestly think that he will go to another school and be fine. Lincoln Riley is the big problem when it comes to defense. That's why I believe that he should give himself a new challenge, leave his role as USC head coach, go be the offensive coordinator at Iowa and see how good at your job you really are.
I like that.
It's quite the challenge.
Yeah.
That should be the test before any offensive coordinator goes to the pros.
Give yourself a challenge. Quit this high-paying job and give yourself a challenge. Is insane.
Give yourself a demotion. Less money.
Yeah.
And you get to move to Iowa.
Just leave for free.
Yeah.
Do the right thing for USC.
Forget Southern California.
He left Oklahoma for Southern California, and you want him to go back to Iowa.
Look, you have a chance to prove yourself and show that you are the absolute best. This is the only
What does
opportunity.
that look like? 14 points a game?
Okay, so
What does that look like?
21.
Mike. I mean,
25 points a game.
Mike, they built him a statue. I
You
mean,
very briefly touched on Iowa and Northwestern in the same conference. Stugotz was at that game. There was jokes beforehand. Will this be the highest scoring game at Wrigley Field this year?
It was not.
It was the 7th highest scoring game at Wrigley Field this year, which seemed impossible that it wouldn't be the highest scoring. It was the 7th highest.
You must be new here. We absolutely knew it wasn't going to be the highest scoring game at Wrigley this season.
Wrigley deserved better. I mean,
They really did.
It looked great. It did. It looked great. It was great being there. It was
That
fun.
feels too close to that brick wall, if I'm going to be honest with you. There's a little bit of padding, but way too close.
Well, they played a game at Wrigley previously, and they had to do it where you could only score on one end zone because the brick wall was so close.
I like that.
All right, we'll play Lucy or Goosey next. Plus, we'll find out together what was sent to me, Lucy, Billy, and Mikey Eck. We will get to Lucy or Goosey in just a second.
Wow.
A bunch of people sent us stuff. I'm looking forward to that. We'll get to that.
Well, one person sent us a bunch of stuff.
Okay, one person sent us many, many things
Yeah,
with a
Jared.
letter. Oh, Jared. Thank you, Jared.
Two-page handwritten letter.
All right.
Aw, that's so sweet.
He's definitely not in jail. He's not. I'm saying he's definitely not.
You know for a fact.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
I'm
good,
saying
good.
he's
Was
not.
that your first thought when you got a handwritten letter?
No, I was just
Okay.
in case anyone was wondering because you say 2 pages handwritten. That's the
Right.
thought place some people go. I'm clearing it up. I probably shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, it's the Michigan Manifesto.
Yeah.
But you said it.
Well, he's definitely not.
Okay. You're saying he's not. But you're not
Definitely not.
certain. He might be.
No, I don't think so.
Why'd you write him back?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think he's not. We're
All
good.
right,
Okay.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. I am told, Billy, very exciting. Mike Fuentes has not one but 2 top 5s in the next segment.
Oh, wow. The listeners are going to love that.
They love me.
They hate him so much. It's so weird.
Why?
I don't know.
Because I'm awesome. I don't know.
I don't think that's
Oh,
it.
that's the reason.
I don't think that's it.
All right, Lucy, are you ready for Lucy or Goosey? This week's installment of Lucy or Goosey.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Jaden Daniels, LSU. Jaden Daniels. You just told me that
Hot
during
start.
the break, and I still got it wrong.
Hot start.
God bless football. It's a Monday. Jaden Daniels. Did I say it right?
Yes.
LSU quarterback should win the Heisman Trophy. Lucy or Goosey? She had to peek to see which one.
Well, yeah, because I didn't know which one was which. I should just have them
I
out.
didn't label them today.
All right, I'm Lucy on that. Juicy Lucy. Whoa.
Wow.
He is putting up Heisman numbers. They compare to Joe Burrow's Heisman winning season at LSU. He's just not really getting the press or the hype around it simply because LSU has lost 3 games and That shouldn't take you out of the Heisman conversation, but it really does. He played so well against Alabama. He is hurt. We don't really know the situation of that right now, but the season he's having, the numbers he's putting up, and this is not LSU's typical offense. I don't think he has like the weapons he normally does. Neighbors is amazing, but outside of that, it's not a ton.
They have no defense.
Yeah, their defense is terrible, but if LSU were a little bit better, I think he would be a clear Heisman frontrunner right now,
right.
Especially when it felt like Michael Penix Jr. was the Heisman frontrunner, and now Washington just is looking really weird and funky. He should be in the Heisman conversation.
Okay, I agree. Texas starting Arch Manning against TCU. Lucy or Goosey?
Very goosey on this one. I would love to see Arch Manning. Whoa. I like these sounds. I would like to see Arch Manning play at one point. I think it would be fun.
Right.
I don't think you need to do that. Malik Murphy played. Kansas State is like not a game that you should really use as a measuring stick because that is a team Texas always struggles against.
Right.
I mentioned it earlier. They are a team that'll screw up your season every year. Stick with Malik Murphy. I really don't think that you need to go full Arch Manning. And also TCU is not very good. So
Right.
you might see Arch Manning later in that game. I just don't think it's worth starting him.
I think the concern is they were up big in that game and then let Kansas State back in it.
Yeah,
you know?
Kansas State does that all the time.
They do.
That's Kansas State's way of life.
All right. Caleb Williams sitting out the remainder of the year. Lucy or Goosey?
I'm goosey on this one. I think he should play. I want him to play. He's one of the best players in college football. He won the Heisman last year. We should all want to see him play, although it feels like USC's season is really done. I will say if that we get the dream bowl matchup of the Iowa offense and the USC defense, I hope he sits that one out. We all need to collectively give him a break. People were so mean to him about crying this weekend. Get over it. He is a college kid.
Yeah.
He has had an amazing career so far. I hope he continues to play. I don't think he is really hurting his draft stock by continuing because he had a great game against Washington.
He did.
He isn't the problem. We know what the problem is at USC. I hope he keeps playing. Be nice to him.
You have to play in that game against Oregon. You have to. Yes. I mean, that's the only shot they have of beating Oregon is Caleb Williams playing.
You could screw everything up this weekend.
Right.
They probably won't, but you could.
But you could.
You could.
Yes. Oregon's good, man.
They're really good.
Really good. All right, let's get to the next one here. Penn State beating Michigan at home. Lucy or Goosey? That's a big game this weekend.
That is, I'm so goosey on that one. It's a big game.
Besides that f***ing goose.
Exactly. She gets it.
Yeah.
It's a big game. James Franklin is coaching in a big game. That's
Right.
all you need to know.
Right.
That's done. I'm not worried about that.
Okay. So Michigan's going to win, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. -5.5.
Michigan's biggest
Already took
opponent this season isn't anything other than the NCAA and the Big Ten. They don't need to worry about anybody else.
But you're going to stick with James Franklin never winning a big game.
Yeah, no, that's
with you. Yeah.
death, taxes, and that.
Okay, good. Miami beating FSU in Tallahassee. Lucy or Goosey?
I'm very goosey on that
Besides
one.
f***ing goose.
It's Tyler Van Dyke looks really bad.
He is
looks-
bad.
He is not having a good time. That is an NC State team that is like, it's very NC State. It's they're not good. They're not bad. They should not. I have no faith in this Miami team. They have a really tough remaining schedule too. FSU's a loss. Boston College could be a loss. Louisville's a loss.
I wonder what team he's going to trick into drafting him because of his size and athletic ability or whatever.
Trick.
Yeah, they're going to trick him and then he's going to stink. Yeah.
Like magic tricks?
Yeah, he's going to trick him and then they're going to draft him high and he's going to be terrible.
Oh, he won't get drafted high after this year.
I hope
Jeez.
not. Like,
I hope.
bad.
Top 5 teams to draft him. That's what I want.
Wow.
And the Jets would be up there.
Headed straight to the
Absolutely.
Jets practice squad.
All right, last one for you, Lucy. Then we'll get to whatever this one person sent us who's not in prison.
Yeah.
Right.
No, definitely not.
Okay, good. More confident Alabama will be in the SEC championship game than Georgia. Lucy or Goosey? Georgia's got a tough one. They have a tougher schedule. I'm just telling you that.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Lucy on this one, not because I particularly doubt.
Lucy.
That's a hamburger, by the way, in Minneapolis. If anyone wants to try it, I'm going Alabama Lucy on this one, not because I'm doubting Georgia by any means. I still think they're the best team in the country.
Right.
What they did against Mizzou was typical for what they do against Mizzou every year. I'm not thinking too much into it.
Okay.
The SEC West is not very good. They've already beat Ole Miss. They have already beat LSU. They don't really have anybody else to worry about. It seems like a straight shot. Georgia has Ole Miss this weekend. Ole Miss is a team I keep forgetting exists.
Tough team.
I like it. When we were watching the playoff rankings last week, I was sitting there and Ole Miss was top 10, and I was like, I forgot about you this entire year.
They beat Georgia in Athens. I mean,
If they beat Georgia in Athens, They still have the head-to-head loss with Alabama, so I think Alabama would need a conference loss for
Right.
Ole Miss to make it to the SEC championship.
Yep.
I don't think that Georgia is going to lose to Ole Miss this weekend. I
Okay.
really don't. That is another
How
thing.
about at Tennessee in 2 weeks?
I do not think they're going to lose
right.
at Tennessee
All right.
in 2 weeks either.
So
I
we're
don't-
feeling pretty good about Georgia,
Yeah.
Alabama, SEC
I
championship
think that
game.
is the natural order of
We should just
things.
fast
Yeah.
forward to it already.
Yeah,
Enough.
that's what we're going to get. On the same day, we get Iowa, Michigan in the
Right.
Big Ten
I took
championship
a
game.
future
So
of
great.
Alabama getting into the playoff.
Wow.
Really?
It's not a bad call. They need a couple losses to go their way. I think Ohio State loses. Washington is probably going to lose at a point. It definitely a possibility. I mean, they want to put Alabama in the playoff. They always want to put Alabama in the
Exactly.
playoff, and
That's
I
what I'm
really
banking
hope
on.
they don't because it would be so.
What are you,
funny.
Mattress Mac now? I mean,
Yeah.
That guy's been on a bad
Little
run
bit less
lately.
weight.
Cool.
I know. Just takes one though for him, Billy.
That's true.
All right, what did this
John Fuentes.
what did this person who's not in prison send us?
All right, so
I'm
this
so
is from Jared Lear from HighDef Designs, and then the
Lucy is
E-
so excited.
The E in def is at number 3, so HighDef Designs.
We got it.
Anyways, I'm gonna get to Lucy's first because we so much stuff, and I feel like you're gonna like this. Now, it was shipped, so you're gonna have to kind of glue it together.
Okay.
Just so you know, but
I love a craft.
it's functioning. This is a UFO lamp that was
What?
sent to you. Yeah, and it works. Turn it on.
God, that is so cool.
Yeah, you were sent a UFO
Amazing.
lamp. I don't know if the camera can see this anywhere.
Northwestern Purple, by
And
the way.
it's taking someone up. So
Oh my! I love it so much.
That is
Thank
great.
you.
I'm reading here the list of things. This bear is also a wine bottle holder. I'm
Wow.
told.
What?
I was sent a Marlins light here that lights up, so I plug this into the wall. And this
Very
lights
nice.
up.
What a haul
Yeah.
for you guys.
Great.
I mean,
This one's from Mikey A. It's a Jets light. That lights up.
excited. He's excited.
Alright.
Yeah,
I told you they might be
That's
excited.
Amazing.
awesome.
This guy has all this stuff
Billy,
in
I'm
prison.
excited.
These are
Billy, I'm excited.
These are Grateful Dead lithographs. I was told that he printed. These are for
Wow.
you, Stugotz. So you can kind
Amazing.
of change that. Maybe hold that up to the camera.
That is so
And then
nice.
There's like a bunch of things like this giant cobra that I feel like Lucy might like also.
I don't
but
want that.
Okay. Lucy
I'm
doesn't
afraid
want
of
that.
snakes.
So maybe we can send
not
that to
personal.
a loyal listener, a cobra, if you want a cobra for some reason.
Huh.
This is just a bunch of skulls. That
Ooh, I
think-
like that.
I think that this is some of these are remote control holders. I feel like you could put your remote control on them. A number of skulls were sent to us. Kind of morbid. Hopefully not of living creatures.
Right.
Yeah. So.
So
bunch of
that
things,
this
yeah.
is Lucy's. The,
Yeah.
the skull is Lucy's.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I love skulls.
I don't want the snake either.
I don't know
don't
what
want
this
the
is.
snake.
Maybe a candle holder or something. I'm not sure what that is.
It does like a candle holder.
Yeah, we got sent a lot of things. So thank you to Jared, who's definitely not in jail.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Are
This
you
is
sure?
so
I mean-
cool.
That's
Right.
awesome.
I love it so much.
I was thinking
Oh.
there was some sort of dollar
Lucy might
store
like this. I
in
think
prison.
this is a remote
I mean,
control holder.
Oh,
It's an alien hand, I think,
cool.
remote control holder if you want that.
Okay, that
So
one to
So
Tony.
weird. I
Wow.
love it.
there you go.
Interesting.
So send us stuff if you want to, and we'll obviously just air anything that you send us.
All right, we have Billy's big board bets.
Ooh, yeah.
We have a Chargers Jets game to get to. We have 2 top 5s from the most disliked person on the show coming up next. Before we get to your bets, Fuentes has 2 top 5s. I think we settled the rookie quarterback debates.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud is our winner.
Yeah, the Stroud, Richardson, Young, Levis,
Yes.
and who's the other guy?
Bajan.
Bajent. Yeah,
Bajent.
Bajent stole one, but CJ Stroud ended
He wins,
that. Yeah,
yes.
he ended that yesterday.
That team
And
is
the
good.
kid from the Vikings that
Right.
played a quarter.
Yeah.
That, oh my God, by the way,
Who was that?
who was Jaron Hall?
He was good.
Jaron Hall.
Yeah, had a good quarter. I mean,
Did he?
Yes. Played okay.
I mean, he got
So good
concussed on
there.
the goal line, and then they bring in. Do you think that he was Josh
I'm not
Dobbs?
saying he
Josh
personally-
Dobbs had a good game yesterday.
Josh Dobbs had a great game yesterday.
Josh Dobbs, by the way. Well, I don't know about great. Here's the thing that's
no,
very
Billy had a
confusing.
great game.
Here's the thing that's very confusing
Okay.
about a lot of these quarterbacks is
Right.
that they put up these incredible stat lines, and then you look and it's like, but you also had 4 combined turnovers.
Right.
Like he had 2 lost fumbles, so he'd have 4 combined turnovers. But that happened with Gardner Minshew like last week or the week before, where it's like, oh my God, he put up like 380 yards. It's like, but he had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. So like,
Right.
not the best. You needed the 380 yards to make up for your doofus behavior.
But he also had a win.
Yeah. Josh Dobbs,
Right.
did you see the tweet that came out?
No.
So Kevin Seifert, the Vikings ESPN reporter, like tweeted out this whole chain, and it basically was Josh Dobbs didn't know half of the people that were on the field, had never met them before, didn't know the playbook. He was very open about it, too, and was kind of like, guys, I don't know what this play is, and they just walk him through it. And he did what he had to do to get it done. And I believe he said that's what this week is for, is to learn the playbook and learn the players, which is incredible.
To learn names, right?
Incredible.
Video of him like taking snaps from the center on the sideline to practice before he went in.
Yeah, but I don't think he took a snap in this week with the starting
didn't throw a
team.
pass.
Yeah, so he didn't like know any of these players or know the playbook, and he wasn't, I guess, going to go in without the injury.
He had two.
And did you think that they would? Did you think that they would give him starter snaps, considering they were trying to get Hall ready for this week too?
It was weird, but Dobbs had two of the greatest quarterback scrambles of all time. Like he really did. Now, if you asked me to name a third, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I'm telling you, he had two of the greatest.
Okay.
I mean, Dobbs. I like Dobbs. How great was that Houston game, by the way? It was so great to see C.J. Stroud do that with no timeouts, length of the field, just dropping dimes everywhere. That guy is so good. Why can't the Jets get one of those?
Well, what's funny is that it looked like Baker did it, right? Like Baker gave them the ball back with like 45 seconds, and then they went all the way down the field.
Yeah. Zach Wilson just did it in his defense, but he'll never do it again.
Well, Zach Wilson.
And it was against the Giants.
Yeah.
How you feeling about the Charger game tonight, Mikey? It's a big one.
Not great. Not great.
We never feel great.
Not great.
I know. They're so much better than us.
We did. By the way, before we go, hold on. Before we go away from the Buccaneers Texans game, we didn't talk about the fact that they didn't have a kicker. So they had to go for two.
Awesome.
They had to go for two every play until the end of the game, where they bring in their backup running back, Dario Ogunbowale, who hit a 29-yard field goal.
Right.
Yeah.
I had
Handily hit it.
I had the Texans, by the way, -2.5.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Imagine how upset I was when I didn't see them lining up for the extra points.
Yeah.
But not only they didn't line up for the extra point, they took a knee on the 2-point conversion, so they never even gave it a shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the dumbest, most bad beat I've seen for a while.
I went from praising C.J. Stroud to cursing him within a span of like 30 seconds.
Well, that was like so that wouldn't have gotten blocked and run back and tied the game, right? I'm assuming that's why they did that.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah,
yes.
but
just take a knee there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
unless you're gambling on it.
Monday Night Football tonight, huh? Your Jets are in it.
Send the kicker out, Yeah, they're in it.
Or
this is a big game.
back.
Billy, if they win this game, I want people to realize this. This is why Aaron went there, because the defense is so good. And because of that defense, they're in every single football game. And when Aaron went down 4 or 5 plays into the season, if you asked any Jet fan, if you asked me, you asked Mikey A, or just about anyone, even Robert Saleh, hey, 8 weeks from now, you're going to have a big game against the Chargers. And if you win it, you'll be in a first-place tie in the AFC East. Like, he would have laughed you. He would have laughed you out of the room.
Yeah.
Everyone would have. But here we are. Dolphins are the bye. The Jets win this game. They're 5-3. Dolphins are 6-3. Bills are what? What's the Bills' record after last night? 4-4?
No, they're not 4-4.
5-4?
5-4.
5-4. Yeah, the Jets win this game. They're
Wow, so Black
de
Friday
facto tie.
Black Friday could be a game for the division.
It could be. I know.
Crazy.
Very exciting.
I'll cry if that's the case.
I know. I have the Chargers by 30 tonight.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They're better. Anyway, do we have your big board bets
We
here?
do have my big board bets if you want to get to them now.
Okay.
And then we have some top
Well, let's
fives
do
if you want to get
this.
to them.
Let's do this. Let's do a because Mike Fuentes, we are told, has not one but 2 top 5s.
Yeah.
So let's go to one of his top 5s here.
Okay.
Then your big board bets.
Okay.
And then back to a top 5.
All right, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, little sandwich, little top 5 sandwich.
All
okay?
right.
I like that.
All right. What's your first top 5 here?
So there's a new top 5 frauds.
Wow.
Top 5 frauds this week.
Really?
Okay. Yes.
Top 5 frauds.
A Germany-centric top 5 frauds.
Okay,
Wow.
good. All right, got it.
OLI. Fraudrick Hill.
So you're okay. So
I can't be too mad at him.
it's
I mean, he's
Tyreek
been great all
Hill, but-
season.
Yeah,
I
but-
know, but he's been good all season.
Fraudrick,
But
yeah.
you can't promise 250 and give me 62.
Yeah.
That's
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Yeah. He was the MVP last week, but okay.
Yeah, but not this week.
I know.
Not this week.
Okay.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Tua Fraudavailoa.
What are you doing?
Is this game just Dolphins with the
It
name
might
fraud
be.
in the middle of it?
It might be.
My top 5, Billy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Number 4.
Number 4, Jalen Fraudle. Okay.
Okay.
I love Jalen Waddle, but
Yeah.
one,
Expected him to be higher.
yeah, it seems like he's getting hurt every week now,
Yes.
which is concerning.
Yeah.
And he drops a lot of passes.
Yeah, and every time I see him, I just think, man, I wish he would Jamar Chase.
Wow.
Because they could have drafted Jamar Chase. They traded back in that draft, ended
Right.
up with Waddle. They said they wanted him the whole time. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh.
All right. Next.
3.
Yes.
Vic Faraggio.
He didn't have a bad game
Defense
yesterday.
was fine yesterday.
but,
they
you
gave
know.
up 14 points.
But there's only so many players in the team that he can do fraud at the end. So that's like,
Oh, got it.
Okay.
So this
By
list
default.
doesn't
So you
actually
forced
mean
him in. I
anything.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
catching a stray.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Number 3.
Got to do what you got to do.
I thought that was number 3.
It's Monday. No, this is number 2.
Okay.
Got it.
Thanks.
It's late in the day.
Yeah.
5 p.m.
Yeah, it is.
Mike McFraudio.
Some people are saying that.
Yeah.
Some people are saying that.
They are.
Not big on adjustments, him. You know?
Some people are saying
He's not
it.
big on adjustments.
Well, I mean, you can argue that
They
he
missed
made
8-10.
adjustments and they corrected things in the second half. The
Yeah.
first
Second
half looked
half,
terrible.
yeah.
Second half, they adjusted.
They had chances to win that game.
They did have chances
They
to
did.
win
Many.
that game.
have chances.
Yes. All right. Number
Number
one.
the Miami Fraudlins.
For the Dolphins?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just- okay.
And guys,
He thinks
why-
they're frauds.
we still
Well,
don't
he-
know how to snap the ball, huh?
That's, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Tua took responsibility for it. I mean,
Yeah, and then the coach immediately came out and said it wasn't his fault. So
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Jesus.
Well, that's not what you
It's
would
confusing.
do. You would come out and you'd be like, "Yep, he's right. It's his fault.
That guy
Blame
right
him.
there.
Fire
That-
him."
I let the coach
officer.
speak first, though. You know,
That's true.
because he already said it, and the coach is taking it back, and
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Hey, you know what? You tell Tua on the front end, "Hey, I'm going to take the blame. Don't you dare take it."
Okay.
Okay, that's what you did.
All right.
But I like Tua taking responsibility.
Yeah.
It's on him. Catch the ball. All right. Do you have your big board bets?
Well,
What's your record
I think
here?
it wasn't the ball that he was taking responsibility for. It was the bad. It was the miscommunication on the pass
Bad
that could have been a
throw,
touchdown.
but he also
yeah.
said I got to catch the ball. He did
Yeah,
say that.
that's
Yes.
true.
Right.
Anyway,
All right.
Billy's Bets Big Board brought to you by. We still don't have a sponsor, even though I reached out to Feldman and I told him companies have reached out to me offering to sponsor this. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe we're playing a little hardball right now with this with the
Perhaps.
potential sponsors. Yeah. Anyway, so overall, guys, 11-9-1. Last week I was 2-1. I technically could have been 3-0, but this is a segment with integrity because the one that I lost was I said that Jared Goff was going to have over 1.5 touchdown passes, and he had 1 touchdown pass to his team and 1 touchdown pass to the other team. So technically he did have 2 touchdown passes because there was a pick 6, but that's not the way that it counts. So I'm going to give myself a loss on that one, which brings my record to 11-9-1.
Okay.
Been hot since week 5, 7-2.
Very nice of you.
So-
7-2 since week 5.
Yeah, since week
Okay.
5. I had jury
Right.
duty in the middle there that I didn't do a week, so that
Okay.
also kind of affects
Chris
it. But
Cody
anyways,
picked for you.
yeah,
Right.
I'm not counting his picks. I didn't even bother looking them
He
up.
was 0-3.
Okay, perfect. So the first pick of the week, the game will be under 40 points.
Okay.
Only
It's a great
2
pick.
games at MetLife this year between the Jets and the Giants combined has gone over 40 points. One of them was a 40-0 win by the Cowboys, which would have been a push. And the other one was a 43-point total in the Jets game against the Chiefs. So I'm going under 40 combined points for the 2 teams.
Okay, I like that,
It's a great
Mikey.
pick.
Yeah, it is a great pick.
Now,
You're right.
I
Great
have
pick.
I've
35-0 Chargers.
I also, for whatever reason, there's terrible weather there every single week. But I heard that tonight it's actually looking like it's not going to be that bad. Like it's not going to be raining.
Beautiful
Right.
out today.
Yeah, and it's going to be
It's
in
a Monday,
in the
not a
50s.
weekend. Yeah.
All right, my next one, Austin Ekeler, anytime touchdown.
Wow.
Here you go.
Wow.
Austin Ekeler, anytime touchdown.
Now he gives $1,000 to his charity every time he scores a touchdown. I offered him $2,000 if he doesn't score any touchdowns. How
So
about that?
through
So
Austin,
he's just throwing away $1,000 for charity on Billy's
well, no.
bet.
So
That's what
Yeah.
no. So
Right.
Austin Ekeler, through his foundation, raises money for every touchdown. He himself has pledged $1,000 of his own to go. That you
Yes.
can go on his thing and you can pledge money for his touchdowns. Stugotz has promised to do that. He has not done that. He also this week promised he would give $2,000 if Austin Ekeler did not score any touchdowns.
If he doesn't score and the Jets win, it's a big caveat. Okay, he has to not score and the Jets have to win. That's
One of those is out of his control. I mean, the Jets are so bad. They
No, he can control it by
No,
not scoring.
You just said if he doesn't score. You didn't say anything about the Jets winning. If he doesn't score a touchdown,
well,
you
I'm
owe him
saying it now.
$2,000.
Asking
I mean,
the Jets to win is
it's
a tall
too late.
order.
I had the weekend to think about it.
All right, my final one for this week: Zach Wilson under 1.5 touchdowns.
Great bet.
Amazing.
Great bet. I don't think he's thrown 2 the entire year.
He has only done it one time this season. He threw 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs. That is the only game in which he's thrown 2 touchdowns this season. But I feel like this may be the one that bites me. This is the one that I was least confident about because I feel like things may be going on, and if you get in a situation where the Chargers are blowing out the Jets, he may be letting it rip and throwing touchdowns. He also may be throwing lots of interceptions. So we'll see what happens. And again, great conditions today. compared to how it's been all season long. So it seems like if he does it, this is the week that he's going to throw 2 touchdowns, but I have it under.
Fuentes, poor clock management. I
No,
apologize.
you can do it real quick. Just do it real quick.
Do it quick. We
Okay.
can't. All right, go.
Number 5, Jonnu Smith is the best receiver on the Falcons roster. Lamar Jackson apologizes because he said that he didn't score a touchdown.
What's the top 5?
It's things I noticed that made me laugh. Chris Collinsworth was very upset about intentional grounding rule.
Yeah, he was going back and forth with the rules official.
Stephon Diggs told a security worker that he cleaned out on a touchdown to get his ass up, even though the guy was clearly injured.
Wow.
And number 1, Juju shook Roger Goodell's hand like he had known him for years.
I have no idea.
Top 5 things that made me laugh this weekend.
God bless football.
God bless football.